Hi everyone, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching that earwax removal compilation video today. We've got some good ones in here today. This one's a very short and sweet one, so you can see a very soft earwax here. It's all gone right up against the eardrum, so a patient having a lot of difficulty with their hearing, really struggling to hear on this one particular side. So we're going to go in with a standard size ulnar tube here and just start suctioning this softer wax into the tube. You'll see it all just start to pick up. Now as soon as you create that little gap you can see there and start to see the eardrum, the patient's going to start to hear better. But what you can see is that wax is still stuck. You can see it there to the bottom right corner, still stuck to the eardrum. So we're going to work our way around this. We don't really want to leave any of this in the anterior recess there. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare to get back out. So just very gently, there we go, teasing this skin and wax away from the eardrum. So you can see we've uncovered a good proportion of the eardrum there now. We just need to suction this last little bit from the top. There we go. So that's come away. So we can see, you can actually see where the wax was stuck to the eardrum on that side there. Just going to use the fine end just to tidy up. I just want to take a little bit more from this top section if we can. So just centering the suction tube, the fine end there, just on that top portion, just to take that last little bit away. There we go. So that's looking a lot better up there now. So this is what it looked like when we started. You can see no eardrum visible whatsoever there. But when we finish, we can see the eardrum looking much, much better. Right, now this lovely young gentleman came through the clinic today. And now with this particular wax, this gent has to wear ear defenders a lot. So what he's found is the kind of pop-in ear defenders, so it tends to dry the wax out a lot. So this is perfect for the St. Bart's hook. St. Bart's hook doesn't tend to make an appearance too often, but this is a great piece of wax for the St. Bart's hook. So very, very dry. You can see it almost looks speckledy, almost like coal. We get that kind of glistening effect on it as well. So we're just going to get behind this with the St. Bart's hook, tease this out to the canal. There we go, out that comes. You can see a lot of dry skin underneath. And unfortunately we dropped on the patient at that point. It took us ages to, I couldn't find it. So I think the patient might have walked off with it in their pocket somewhere along the line. So we're just going to get rid of this last little bit of dry skin here. We do have a really good one. If you like the rosin inserter, stick around for the last patient because there's a really good rosin inserter removal for the last one for you. So we're just going to get rid of some of this drier skin material here. You can see that, so you see what I mean about that glistening effect on the wax? It's very, very dry, very hard, very old stuff. So we're just going to start to take this away. Patient does tend to come through usually about once every 12 months to get this done, just because he finds it's much, much easier to keep on a regular basis, keep this cleared out. But we're getting this away really well. Now I can see in the distance, there you go, there's one last piece. So we're going to be very, very gentle with this piece. It's resting right up against the eardrum. So let's use the suction, draw it towards us. There we go. And as we bring this down the canal, then that's got rid of that section from just in front of the eardrum. There we go, you can see that kind of glistening there inside that wax as well. Let's take this last little bit of dry skin away here. There we go, and just lift this next section of dry skin away. There we are, you can see it sort of peeling away really well. We'll just take this last little bit out if we can here. We're just going to run the suction tube down the side of it. It's going to help to detach it. There we go, brilliant. Let's get rid of that last little piece, just block the end. That's the only difficulty with the fine end, but much finer aperture, which allows us to be really pinpoint accurate with where the suction tube's going. But the downside is it doesn't take much to block it up. So you can see they just got blocked. So this is what we look like when we started. You can see a really chunky bit of wax, and this is what it looks like at the end. So patient really pleased to get that out. It's more of a sensation than a hearing issue for this patient. Very sparkly, kind of glittery looking wax, that one. So we're going to go in with the St. Bart's hook again here. Perfect, nice big gap so we can accommodate that 90-degree angle to the St. Bart's hook. Draw this down the canal now, out this is starting to come. You can see the dry skin underneath there really holding onto it and how it curves up and around the top of the canal. All of that's going to come away in one piece by the looks of it. As we're pulling on the front end, you can see it drawing that back end out. Oh, just hit the side of the canal wall. So there we are. So we've got all these dry pieces of skin all held together and almost like a little ribbon of skin underneath. So they're all kind of almost like a little necklace, I suppose, all pinned together. So we take that away. You can see that lots of dry skin under there. Let's take a look behind. Another little piece here at the entrance. Let's lift that out. There we go. What should we call this type of wax, guys? Glitter wax? I don't know what you'd call this one. Sparkly wax? So fairy dust wax, I don't know. Put some in the comment section below. We're about to find a name for it. You guys are great at coming up with names. I'm rubbish at doing this kind of stuff. So what you'll see here, we got these last little couple of dry pieces. See that little sneaky bit stuck to the ceiling or the attic of the ear canal there? So we'll take that away in a second. Now we'll just get some of this drier material from the outside edge first of all. You can see how it really toughens up. Now this is not uncommon, especially if somebody's using noise protection, especially if they work in sort of dirty, sort of dustier environments really, where there's a lot of sort of fine dust in the air, you'll get this drying to the canal wall. So it's not unusual to get these strips of dry skin building up, and then the wax itself becomes much, much drier. So let's just tease this last little bit off. You've got to be really careful here. This bit's really sensitive on the ear canal. So just gonna very gently tease this. There you go. So off that comes. So that's come away really, really well. Lovely. Let's get rid of that piece. And we'll take a look behind that now. Oh, I've spotted one last little bit that needs to come away. So we'll lift that, there we are, lift that piece up as well. So you can see lots of really hardened up, dried flakes almost of this kind of glittery type wax here. So this is the eardrum now. So this is what it looked like at the start. You can see little speckles in it. And then this is what it looks like at the end. So a really shiny, healthy looking eardrum. So there's actually 3.5 centimeters left here, 1 3/8 inches. There was actually another big chunky piece. But like I said, we dropped on the patient. We couldn't find it again. So goodness knows where it ended up. But yeah, we did lose that one last little bit there, but you can see still a fairly sizable amount. This gent was lovely. This gent was 96 years old, bless him, having loads of difficulty with his hearing aids, and we can see why. If you look in here, we've got this very dark, deep, impacted earwax. A little bit of a dent on the front. Think might be a little bit of a sneaky Q-tip user, this one, but we're getting a good grip on this wax. Now the difficulty here, it's perfectly formed to the shape of the ear canal because it's been compressed into that space using Q-tips, which means that when you're getting a grip on it, you're trying to pull this down the canal, but because it's so perfectly formed, ear canals are not always straight. So what you'll get is a little bit might be curved around to the back end, and as you're trying to pull this forwards, that curve is stopping it. It doesn't want it to come through. So we're using the suction tube here to try and really hold on to it. The other downside when you've used Q-tips is it tends to make the surface really hard. So it's hard to get a good suction, solid suction grip there. We've taken some dry skin from underneath. That's gonna give us a little bit of wiggle room. So we'll see now if we pull down from the top, can we coax this around the corner? Now we've taken some of that bottom section away. But it's not really moving. You can see we're trying to draw this down, but it gets so far and it's quite mobile. So when we push it, trying to get a grip, it's actually dropping further back into the canal. So it's causing more of an issue really. But it's immune to wiggling, this one, guys. So we're going to break out the rosin inserter. Why a rosin inserter rather than St. Bart's hook on this one or a Jobson horn? It's the gap, basically. We don't have a tremendous amount of gap around this wax. So we're going to see if we can drop the rosin inserter in. You can see I'm trying to find a softer piece of wax. We can just nudge into it. It's got this really hard core in there though. So we managed to get the rosin inserter into the top there, and then we can draw this whole thing out. You can see how much easier that was. A Jobson horn, we saw it was, look at the size of that plug as well. We dropped this one on the patient. We had, I was all fingers and thumbs today for this, but nothing would pick up. But the reason we don't use the Jobson horn, the St. Bart's hook, as you saw from the previous video, you need a big gap to accommodate it. And the Jobson horn, it was so mobile. If you tried to push over the top, you just would have pushed that wax further in and complicated things even further. So this is the eardrum here. So this is what it looked like when we started. Can't see any eardrum whatsoever there. This is what it looks like at the end, so looking much, much better. But bless him, the patient was almost exactly the same on the other side. You can see this really kind of big, hard lump here. Looks quite soft at the front end though. You can see as soon as we got hold of that, there was a lot of skin there, just broken away from that front section. Let's see if we can lift. It doesn't look like a tremendous amount there, does it, as you start to lift? But watch as this comes out. So as we get a good grip now, we think, oh, this is great. It's starting to move. It's coming down the canal a little bit easier. But as with the other side, it gets stuck and it won't budge from this point. You can see I'm trying to lift it. I'm trying to move it left to right. Let's see if we can give it a bit of a wiggle. Is it going to move? But it really doesn't look like it's going to move. So let's bring the rosin inserter back in here. Let's see if we can get behind this. So we're going to tuck into the one corner, just reposition position to give us a bit more space with the inserter. And there we go, out that comes. So when you see the size, it was tough as old boots as well. I really struggled to get the rosin inserter in. You can see I'm having to kind of push it back into the bowl of the ear there because it don't want to fall off onto the patient again. So you can see with this plug, oh, there it goes, lost it again, see? But looking behind that, it looks much, much healthier. So this is where it looked like at the start. This is what it looks like at the end. So you can see a very different looking ear canal there. So just over 2.5 centimeters, maybe 1 1/16 of an inch there, guys. But you can see the dry skin kind of rings around the outside of this, this plug where it's really kind of held on at that one particular spot. Oh, I told you that was a good one, didn't I, guys? Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did. I'm back to it now on Thursday, so you'll get another video from me on Thursday. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.